Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, Canto 10, the Samam Bonam, Chapter 10, the Deliverance of Yamala-arjuna trees, verses 34 and 35. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yasyavatara gyayante sharireshva sharirena taistair atulyatisyair viryair dehi swasangatahe sabhavan sarvalokasya bhavaya vibhavaya cha avatirno amshabhagena sampratam patirashisham. Yasyavatara gyayante sharireshva asharirinaha taister atulyati sayer viryair dehi swasangatahe sabhavan sarvalokasya bhavaya vibhavaya cha avatirno amshabhagena sampratam patirashisham. Beautiful verses these are. Word to word, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yasya, of whom avataraha, the different incarnations like Matsya, Kurma and Varaha, Gyayante, are speculated. Sharireshu, in different bodies, differently visible. Asharirina, they are not ordinary material bodies, but are all transcendental. Te, by such bodily activities. Atulya, incomparable. Ati Shayai, unlimited. Viryai, by strength and power. Dehishu, by those who actually have material bodies. Asangatai, which activities enacted in different incarnations are impossible to be performed. Saha, the same Supreme, Bhavan, your Lordship. Sarvalokasya, of everyone. Bhavaya, for the elevation. Vibhavaya, for the liberation. Cha and Avtirnaha have now appeared. Amshabhagena, in full potency with different parts and parcels. Sampratam, at the present moment. Pati Ashisham, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all auspiciousness. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all auspiciousness. Translation and purport. Appearing in bodies like those of an ordinary fish, tortoise and hog, you exhibit activities impossible for such creatures to perform. Extraordinary, incomparable, transcendental activities of unlimited power and strength. These bodies of yours, therefore, are not made of material elements, but are incarnations of your Supreme Personality. You are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who have now appeared with full potency for the benefit of all living entities within this material world. Such a beautiful verse this is. Purport. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.7 and 8, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam shrujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna appears as an incarnation when real spiritual life declines and when rogues and thieves increase to disturb the situation of the world. Unfortunate, less intelligent persons, bereft of devotional service, cannot understand the Lord's activities. And therefore, such persons describe these activities as kalpana, mythology or imagination, because they are rascals and the lowest of men. Namam dushkritano mudha prapadyante naradhama. Such men cannot understand that the events described by Vyasdev in the Puranas and other Shastras are not fictitious or imaginary but factual. Krishna, in his full unlimited potency, here shows that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For although the two trees were so large and sturdy that even many elephants could not move them, Krishna as a child exhibited such extraordinary strength that they fell down with a great sound. From the very beginning, by killing Putana, Shakatasura, and Trinavatasura, by causing the trees to fall, and by showing the entire universe within his mouth, Krishna proved that he is the supreme personality of Godhead. The lowest of men, mudhas, because of sinful activities, cannot understand this, but devotees can accept it without a doubt. Thus, the position of a devotee is different from that of a non-devotee. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhaktivedanta purports ki jai. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. Nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So here we see in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Aham sarvasva prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhutha bhava samanvitaha. Krishna says, I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. And then the lesson for us from this verse is, the wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So here we can see that the devatas, Manigriva and Nalakuvara, are describing the Lord, his position. And when we understand this, we can engage in Krishna's devotional service and worship Krishna with all our hearts. Now, can we tag this verse and the purport as the rocket verse? I coined this term a rocket verse, where just by a proper and thorough understanding of this verse, it gives a tremendous boost to our spiritual life, our spiritual journey. Because everything what we're supposed to know is mentioned in this verse, and Prabhupada also mentioned in the purport here. If you read the Sanskrit, actually, if someone knows how to read the Sanskrit, even if you don't know how to read the Sanskrit, if you just read, if you see the second line of the first verse, is just one whole word. It is one whole word. Imagine if Prabhupada wouldn't have translated this for us. Imagine if Prabhupada wouldn't have given us purport to these, the commentaries to these verses. We would be nowhere. We cannot understand Krishna. The Devatas are saying that, yes, people who have got these material bodies, in the previous verses we saw, that the people who have got material bodies cannot understand Krishna. We cannot even understand the language spoken by Krishna and by the acharyas. Taister atulyati sayer, viryar dehi swa asangatay. That's this whole one word in Sanskrit. But Prabhupada very kindly, he breaks it down and he translates it for us, gives the commentary very beautifully. And in this verse, now you can see, like, we got only 20 minutes left. How can you describe such a verse in 20 minutes? Not possible. The potency of Krishna is given, that yes, Krishna, because in the previous verse, the Devatas are saying that, we have got material bodies. How can someone who's got the material body, how can we understand Krishna? Can someone mute yourself, please? There's someone who's unmuted. Here the Devatas are saying, because Krishna, these prayers are going on, but you have to also understand, Krishna is actually not interested in these prayers. He's actually interested in his play. He's playing with the rope, the motor, he's uprooted the trees. His Gopa friends are around him, they're clapping, they're having a good time. So Krishna, you think he's interested in these prayers? No, he's more interested in his play. But in the meantime, he's also giving some attention to the Devatas here. He says, yeah, no, I have come here to, Narad Muni has given him this curse, this blessing. I have to also play my part here. So he's also giving some attention to these Devatas. So then when the Devatas are praying in the previous verses that, people who have got material bodies, how can anyone know you, people with material bodies? Then Krishna says, okay. Then if you cannot know me, then how do you know that I'm Supreme Personality? Because you have to know me. Because, you just now said that you cannot know me because you have got material bodies. Then how can you say that I'm the Supreme Person? So in answer to that, Nalakuvara and Manigriva recite this prayer. That yes, we know that these are incarnations and these are your incarnations. So even though you are appearing in the bodies of an ordinary fish, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and then they describe the activities impossible for such creatures to perform. We know that as Matsya Avatar, he lifted the whole earth out of the nether regions. As a tortoise, the whole Mandara mountain was placed on him and the ocean was churned. As Varaha Dev also, very, as is described here, extraordinary, incomparable, transcendental activities of unlimited power and strength were performed by the Lord when he appears as incarnation. So when he appears as incarnation, of course, as an avatar, as an avatari, the source of all incarnation, aham sarvasva prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. That, if these incarnations can perform these pastimes, obviously Krishna, when he comes as amsha bhagena, in full potency with different parts and parcels, he is definitely the Supreme Person. So that's why he says, when we know that these are your avatars, it's easy for us to know you as the Supreme Person. And that's why the Devatas say, these bodies of yours, therefore, are not made of material elements, but are incarnations of your Supreme Personality. And then they say, you are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who have now appeared. Now, why has he appeared? Prabhupada says here in the purport, with full potency for the benefit of all living entities within this material world. So here comes our part. That when we understand, we take Krishna seriously, when we take Krishna's pastimes seriously, we keep on hearing these pastimes, wonderful pastimes, then the sinful inclinations in our heart, they go away. Many times we see, we've been practicing for many, many years, many, many decades, but still the sinful propensities don't go away. That's why we get these festivals like Ekadashi and all these appearance and disappearance day of Vaishnavas and the Lord, where we are supposed to reflect, we're supposed to introspect that Kali Yuga is progressing. Is Kali Yuga progressing in my heart also? Am I being carried away by the waves of this material nature? That's why Prabhupada says the difference between the position of a devotee is different from that of a non-devotee. A non-devotee will understand that this is a whole mythology. The Britishers introduced this word mythology when they came to India or imagination. But no, these are not mythology. Prabhupada says that the events described by Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva is not someone ordinary. Even if you consider him as an ordinary person, many times when we speak to newcomers, they say that, how do you know that these scriptures are original? We just tell them that just understand the placement of each word, the mood of each word, everything is perfect. It's 100% perfect. And especially Srimad Bhagavatam is called Amala Purana, spotless Purana. There's no spot in this. So if we have faith in these scriptures, then we become devotees. And then, as Krishna says here, and as Sukadeva Goswami says here, the Devatas say here that when Krishna appears in front of us with full potency, Amsha Bhagena, and why does he come here? Patir Ashishinaha. Ashish means also a blessing, right? Here Prabhupada quotes, translates as the master of all auspiciousness, Patihi Ashisham. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all auspiciousness. Yes? Pati Ashisham. But Ashish also means benediction. So here Prabhupada translates as, you have appeared for the benefit of all living entities within the material world. So when we focus on Krishna, just if you draw a flow chart here, what these devatas are saying, just this verse and the purport, draw the flow chart here. That okay, we cannot know Krishna. Then the next thing is, but Krishna appears as his incarnations. And if we are devotees, we have faith in the scriptures. These incarnations have done amazing, extraordinary, incomparable tasks of what was required at that time, according to time, place, and circumstances. So yes, these are the incarnations, again, not with material bodies. These bodies are incarnations of Krishna and completely spiritual with full potency. Now these are avatars. Then the next flow chart, the next part of the flow chart will be that if the avatars themselves are so powerful and not made of material bodies, Avatari, the source of all incarnations, Krishna, he has to be the Supreme Person. And that's why these devatas are saying, yes, you are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who have now appeared with full potency, amsha bhagena. You have appeared with in full potency with different parts and parcels. So Krishna has appeared with, all his entourage. Why has he appeared? For the benefit of all living entities within this material world. So imagine, still Dwapar Yuga is there. This is the beginning of Krishna's, Leela on the earth planet. It was not that Kali Yuga has started here, but still the devatas are praying that Krishna, you have appeared for the benefit of all living entities within this material world. And then, of course, Prabhupada, excuse me. And Prabhupada, starts the purport with the famous verses of Bhagavad Gita, where, why does Krishna appear? Krishna appears when the spiritual life declines, and he gives the quality of people in Kali Yuga. Unfortunate, less intelligent persons bereft of devotional service cannot understand the Lord's activities. So for us, Prabhupada has very, very kindly, Vyasdeva has very kindly, Sukdev Goswami, all of them have very kindly given to us these wonderful verses, these wonderful purports. All we have to do is just focus on these verses, meditate on these, and implement these in our lives. In this Leela, we can see that we have also heard few times, but there's no harm in repeating it, because of our Kali Yuga mentality, we will forget the next moment. So this pastime is full of contradictions. Krishna, even though he is himself eternally liberated, but is now bound by a mortar and a rope. Krishna, he is the purest of pure, he is inconceivably pure, but now he is tainted by the Leela of stealing. And Krishna, although he delivers everyone, he gives salvation to everyone, but now he is bound by the affection of his mother. So the Leela is still not ending here. It's almost the end, but still there's a lot to go here, go from here. So the two trees are toppled. The devatas have come out. They're very beautifully dressed, and they are offering the prayers to Krishna. And the trees, as we heard before, that these trees were almost like X-shaped. There were two trees, but they were X-shaped. And when Krishna took the mortar between the two trees, they toppled. But the toppling also made sure that Krishna is not harmed here. Krishna is not harmed here. So this way we can see that the pastime is going on, the prayers are being offered. But then again, the acharyas point out to us that in the previous verse, the devatas are saying, Manigriva and Nalakura, they're saying that we who have got this material body cannot know Krishna. Then suddenly Krishna thinks, yes, actually, let me now do my part also. So Krishna looks at them. He asked them, of course, as we said, that if you do not, if you with your material body, if you cannot know me, then how can you say that I'm the Supreme Lord? How can you say that I am who you think I am? And then at the same time, Krishna, just to increase the devotion of these personalities, these devatas, he gives them his Samvit Shakti. As we know, Krishna has got three Shaktis, the three main Shaktis, Samvit, Sandhini, and Hladini. So Samvit Shakti is the potency of cognizance. The feature of Krishna's body is Satchidananda, Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So Sat is the feature of eternity. Chit is the potency of cognizance. So potency of knowledge. And when Krishna gives this potency of knowledge to the devatas, then the devatas are reciting these verses 34 and 35, which we're just going through today. And then by this they are saying, yes, even though we cannot understand, now Krishna has given the Samvit Shakti, the potency of knowledge to these devatas, and that's why they're saying, okay, by the method of what we call extrapolation, we know that your avatars are again not made of material bodies, you are fully spiritual. And now you, the avatari himself, has appeared. So this way, when Krishna has given the Samvit Shakti, so we can understand that even, when we say that not a leaf or not a blade of grass moves without Krishna's will. So here we can see that the Devtas, even though they are so intelligent, they are the sons of Kuvera, the sons of the treasurer of the Devtas, but their intelligence is baffled when Krishna is starting to argue with them. That like same thing is happening in Brahma Vimoha Lila. That when Brahma says that you are Narayan yourself, you are my father. Krishna says, what are you talking about? I'm just a gopa. Like, didn't you steal my cows and cowherd boys? The same thing is happening here. That Krishna is not interested in these devatas. He's interested in his play. But at the same time, he's actually having so much mercy. And then we can see here that um, the devatas are also acknowledging that uh, no one can know Krishna, no one can see Krishna, but because Krishna, you are endowed with the natural quality of mercy, as we have seen in the Damodar Lila the earlier when Krishna gets agreed to be bound, right? He the all the potencies are having the discussion as to whether Krishna should be bound or not, and then ultimately the Kripa Shakti or the Bhakta Vatsala Shakti of Krishna comes into play. And when the Bhakta Vatsala Shakti of Krishna, the Kripa Shakti of Krishna comes into play, then no other Shakti has got any power in front of Kripa Shakti. So these devatas are feeling that, yes, Krishna, because you are endowed with the natural quality of mercy, we cannot know you, but you have made yourself visible to us. So for us also, we take lesson from here that it is not possible, even though we might try very hard, we might chant all around with full attention, everything we do, puja properly, we do all services properly. But ultimately, it is up to Krishna, up to Krishna's mercy to reveal himself to us or not. And Devatas are saying the same thing here. That Krishna, we cannot know you, but because of your mercy, because you have given us the Samvit Shakti, we can at least glorify you. Same thing happens in Dhruva's pastime. When Dhruva saw Lord Vishnu in front of him, his intelligence completely got bewildered. He did not know what to do. His eyes swelled with tears. The hair on body were on end. Like where is all the Ashtasatvika bhava were appearing in him. But then what did Vishnu do? He touched his conch shell on Dhruva's head. And by that, Dhruva could offer him wonderful prayers. And here also we see that when Krishna is giving the Samvit Shakti to the Devatas, they are offering these prayers, and they are making Krishna visible to us also by these prayers. So for us, we can take this lesson that we do our bit and wait for Krishna's mercy. This Leela also shows that devotional service means 1% is, whatever hardest we might do is just our the entire effort what we put in is just 1%, but 99% is the mercy of Krishna and his devotees. So this way we can understand that Krishna, even though he appears in front of us, many times we might not know him, but if we have devotion in our hearts, it becomes easier for us to know Krishna. And that's why Prabhupada says here that when we hear these pastimes of Krishna killing the demons, of showing the mercy to so many wonderful Brajavasis, when we have faith in these pastimes, then Prabhupada says, thus the position of a devotee is different from that of a non-devotee. So this is the purport of this verse, where the Devatas are describing the mercy of Krishna, Krishna being the avatari. All the avataras are having spiritual bodies and they're doing wonderful tasks. And for us, when we are given this Samvit Shakti by Krishna, when Krishna wants to reveal himself to us, then we can understand Krishna. So for us, as far as devotional service is concerned, we patiently perform our devotional service, nicely perform devotional service. And of course, as Prabhupada has given us the devotional service, the way of devotional service is, it's susukam kartum avayam. We are always happily performing devotional service, happily speaking about Bhagavatam, happily hearing Bhagavatam. And this way, even the journey to the spiritual world is very pleasurable, very blissful. Any questions or comments on this verse? Then we can continue with the next verse, if time permitting. Anyone also share something from here? Okay, so we continue with the next verse. We've got a few minutes. Verse number 36. Namaha Parama Kalyana, Namaha Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Shantaya Yadunam Pataye Namaha. Namaha Parama Kalyana, Namaha Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Shantaya Yadunam Pataye Namaha. Namaha Parama Kalyana, Namaha Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Shantaya Yadunam Pataye Namaha. Synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhaktivedanta purports ki jai. Namaha. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances. Parama Kalyana. You are the supreme auspiciousness. Namaha. Our respectful obeisances unto you. Parama Mangala. Whatever you do is good. Vasudevaya. Unto the original personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. Shantaya, unto the most peaceful, Yadunam, of the Yadu dynasty, Pataye, unto the controller, Namaha, our respectful obeisances unto you. O supremely auspicious, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you, who are the supreme good. O most famous descendant and controller of the Yadu dynasty, O son of Vasudeva, O most peaceful, let us offer our obeisances unto your lotus feet. The word Paramakalyana is significant because Krishna, in any of his incarnations, appears in order to protect the sadhus, paritranaya sadhunam. The sadhus, saintly persons or devotees, are always harassed by non-devotees, and Krishna appears in his incarnations to give them relief. This is his first concern. This is his first concern. If we study the history of Krishna's life, we shall find that for most of his life, he predominantly engaged in killing demons one after another. So this is a memorizing verse. I remember, I don't know how far this is true, but in the beginning when I joined, I was told that in the Bhagavatam, in Srimad Bhagavatam class, the intention of Prabhupada of reciting these verses 3 times and then by the devotees present, by the Prabhus and Matajis, by the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, is that we should be able to memorize these verses while attending the Bhagavatam class. Of course, this verse is very easy, so to memorize it not difficult. Namaha Parama Kalyana, Namaha Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Shantaya Yadunam Pataye Namaha. This is very similar to what Kunti Maharani says, Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha, Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So there are many verses like this, and the Devatas are glorifying Krishna by his qualities, by his association, by his intention of giving benefit. And as Prabhupada says, the first concern of Krishna is to give relief to the devotees who are harassed by the non-devotees. It's 7 o'clock. I don't know whether I've done justice to this verse. Maybe tomorrow, whosoever is giving class can maybe continue with this verse again. If you don't have any questions, comments, then you may have a wonderful day. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? Okay. May you all have a very wonderful devotional day. Carry the mood of Kartik in your hearts. This is what we're trying to do also. That somehow or the other, if we can carry this mood of devotion, throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout our lives, our life will be very successful and very blissful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.